you, Mr. Simmons. Senator Blackburn, I'm going to let you take my first time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you each for your testimony. Mr. Hinton, I want to come to you first. I guess you could probably imagine that. I've worked with the NAB for years trying to get them to agree to a template like we have. I want to clear up a couple of things. You mentioned in your testimony that this would cause harm. Let me ask you this. Not paying artists for their sound, their voice being on radio, they're getting zero money. Do you think that causes harm to the artist?
Well, Senator, thank you for that question.
Don't say thank you for the question through this. It eats up my time. Go ahead.
All right.
Quickly.
The reality is American radio reaches 79% of Americans every week. 226 million people listen to radio every week. But the problem that we have...
I asked you about causing harm, not about your audience. So let me move on, because you are causing harm. You've got an oldies station. You've never paid Sam Moore's estate a dime for Soul Man. And I bet you use that as bumper music a good bit. And you talk about being a free service. Your free service, do your advertisers look at you and say free service? The answer to that is no, they don't, because they're paying what you say is the rate. And the more listeners you have, the more they're going to pay you for that advertising. And the better music that you play that people actually want to hear, then the more you're going to be able to charge them. If we shut down all the music, you wouldn't have anything but a talk station. So I think we need to realize that. Also, you talked about being on the air for emergencies. The FCC requires you. They have that override when there is an emergency. You did not do that out of the goodness of your heart. You do that because you are mandated to do that, and thereby you provide that public service, and we appreciate that our radio stations do that. I would also remind you that when you talk about being a partnership between the artist and the radio stations, there is a new form of payola that is out there, and it's called having these artists do private shows for your advertisers, again, so that your worth is more to your advertisers. So indeed, it's kind of lopsided because they're making nothing and you're making millions of dollars. You and your son started this business not to be charity, but to make a profit and to serve your communities and to allow local radio. And for football games, you have advertisers. Again, you're providing a service, but you're being paid. The people that do not get paid are the performers. Mr. Simmons, let me come to you. You laid it.
Can I respond to any of that?
No, sir. It's my time.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. If we do a second round, I'll give you the opportunity to respond. Mr. Simmons, it's well past time to pass the American Music Fairness Act. I want you to very succinctly say, this is why we need to do it today.
We have to do it today because AI is right around the corner. This is an archaic injustice that's been around for a long time, and there's no reason why we should get in the middle of it. It's un-American. The basic premise of America is, pardon me for simplifying it, I was a sixth grade teacher, if you work hard, you should get paid.
Okay, let me ask you about something else. I go to church, and I live in a neighborhood in Nashville where we have a lot of session singers and musicians, background vocalists that are there. Talk about the significance to those artists of getting those pennies on the spin.
It's often, see, when you mentioned Elvis and Frank Sinatra and everything, we're talking big ideas because they've scratched and worked their way to the top. The new artists really need these pennies when they get heard as their career starts on radio, but there's no income. How do they get there? How do they claw their way up to the top with the help of radio? And again, I'm not here to demonize Mr. Hinton or the radio stations. We need each other. Performers need radio. Radio needs performers. But for God's sakes, equitable doesn't mean you get zero, and radio makes $14 billion just this last year. That's not equitable. I know it's a big word like gymnasium, but come on, Hinton, let's get with it. Let's become American.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Schiff.